Hello, this is Stella here from Earth Lovers Oracle. I hope you're all feeling well. It's a it's a kind of off and on sunny day here, but I always love to look at the weather. I love nature. I love looking at the skies, and because we are into the sign of Virgo, which is an earth sign. I wanted to talk more about the earth elements because I am very interested in shamanic practice, and I think everybody loves nature, and what we can learn more about nature is really insightful. So I'm using the cards by Denise Linn called Native Spirit Oracle cards, and which tell a lovely story. So first off, I want to look at the first card that I've drawn, which is called Spirit of Earth, which is a lovely picture of sort of sand dunes, and I think we're talking about sunrise here. It's very, very earthy and beautiful. So we are in the earth sign of Virgo, as I've just mentioned. This card is about prosperity and blossoming, and it's about standing as strong and grounded as possible. And if you don't know what grounded means, it's feeling calm enough and sure enough, and not letting your emotions carry away, which can be very difficult for the human condition. But it's getting yourself in that calm space and vibing with the earth energy, and you can use the earth to get a lot of strength. And just remember that you are already enough, whoever you are, and as you are actually enough with all your talents and your many experiences in life. So just think, the earth has enough on it, and we actually are enough. We are in a sense a reflection of the earth, because we have water going through our body, and the earth has water courses, and we have the air element is the oxygen going through us so we can breathe, and we have that in the skies, and the fire going through us is enthusiasm, and fire, and also our blood needs heating, but also there is fire elements as well, in the medicine wheel, with fire, water, earth and air. They are the components that make up the universe, and then of course air. So by connecting with nature, it's a good time to tend to your physical body. And also that's a parallel with Virgo, because Virgo is all about cleanliness and looking after things, and especially health and the body and the home. So it's a good time to think, well, how actually does my body feel? We've been through quite a weird year so far energetically. And, do you need a detox, or perhaps a little bit of a change in diet to make you feel better? Or could you use some supplements, or both? Or do you need something like a massage or an aromatherapy treatment? People are actually doing them, even though it's close contact. There are actually ways of doing that, or you could do it for yourself in a small way. So this is really about self-care, looking after yourself. And if you're feeling stressed, or if you're feeling sluggish, how to put yourself better into balance. And it's a very good idea, if you can, to implement some natural medicines. And that's not taking away if you take prescription medicines. It's just saying things like essential oils, herbs, anything like that, which is really nature's bounty, which has been and is used, to bring people back into balance. Also, you might like to look at your home and think, well, does it give me pleasure actually hanging out here? Because you might have had to hang out a lot. And for some people, they've done quite a lot of DIY, but you might have found that, if you're working from home, you've had other things to do. But if you look around you, is it a bit cluttered? Are there broken things that annoy you every time you see them? And if so, it would be a good time just have a bit of a clear out if you feel it's needed, because that frees up space, and space is always a good thing. It makes us think much clearer in our minds. And also energetically we feel better. And then again, if you get those broken fixtures done, those door handles that don't quite work, bolts that aren't working properly, and even if a light's gone out by the front door, if you fix those things, it feels really pristine. And then if you can get rid of the broken things or put them in a recycling bin, and when there's a feeling that everything works, things really feel better. And you could even do things like, because I've had a training in feng shui, so again I think that's very, very critical to even sort of around your front door as you go in. Is it as bright as it could be? Are the plants around it dying? If so, if you have a little bit of a primp of the area, that will make an enormous difference. You might even feel, do I need to paint the front door if it's looking battered? Because if things look sad and jaded, it actually can have that effect on us. If we see things continuously in that way, and then when you see something that is pristine and looks good, it is, you actually want to go through the door. Your energy doesn't doesn't sag, and you think, oh my God, I'm home. What does it look like? So, little things that you can do to vamp things up can have an enormous benefit. So, having done that, you might want to cleanse the air, and you can do that with sage, with incense, or with an essential oil spray, just to clear the energy and make it feel good. If you feel that there's been a lot of stress in the home, or maybe been feeling a bit depressed, or you just feel that it could do with a good old zhuzh. So that alters the energy and makes everything better. And then lastly, you might want to, get yourself some new objects. It could be better lighting, perhaps a beautiful wooden bowl, or a wooden lighting, something that connects to nature. Or you might want to get some more different coloured cushions or a different throw in your home. And this sort of thing is important because it's very uplifting, and sort of at this time of the year, the colours of corn, sunflower, lovely cinnamon colour, but actually any colour that speaks to you is something that you would need energetically, because it's going to do you good, because every time you look at it, it's going to lift you up. So, these are little inexpensive things that we can do that really, really help. So then with the next card, I picked up Gathering Your Tribe, which I think is lovely, because everybody needs to have a sense of belonging, little wigwams and so forth. So, your tribe, it can be people that you have affinity to, it can be your family, it can be both. And sometimes for people, they relate much more to their friends than to their family. They just find family relationships are more fraught. So actually your very good friends are your family, and by default I would say your pets, animals, because we can be very close to these lovely beings that give unconditional love to us. And even things like the plants that you have, plants in your home, in your garden, things that you show love to. And it could be something like a tree that you love that's in your garden that you like to be near, because trees again have a beautiful energy about them, and most people seem to know that liking trees is good. I don't think I've ever heard of somebody who said, oh my, I can't stand trees, we just let's cut them all down. So again, trees have a lot of power, and it's sort of in our DNA to appreciate them. So again, it would make you feel so much better. So gathering your tribe around you, it's a time for feeling loved and supported. And in a way, because we're coming up to harvest time, I love this idea of gathering people around you, knowing that you're loved and supported. It's sort of like gathering the harvest acorns in, but obviously in human or animal form, to buoy you up, make you feel better. And when you're with a group of people that get you, there is a lot of love around, and that's very, very healing. And we're not talking romantic love, just this thing where you think people get you and take you as you are. So and in those sort of circumstances, you feel, because you feel a sense of trust, you can speak more from the heart and speak your truths, and feel safe. And I think in these changing times, anything that helps us feel safer, it has to be a plus. And again, these are, they're small but very significant things that we can put around us right now, just as much as appreciating nature, gathering our tribe of people who resonate with us. And often when we're with people who we know get us, we can ask for what we need, and get our own needs felt, whereas often we tend to put other people first. But really, there's only so much depletion that can happen, and we have to fill our own well. And if we can't fill it ourselves, help from other people, because sometimes one can get really out of balance where it's actually difficult to climb back, but invariably one does. But it's like with a little help from our friends, that old Beatles song. So your tribe can support you and nurture you. And when you find your tribe, just cherish them, because it's really such a gift. And so the last card that I've got is the white buffalo, which is lovely. And white buffalo is a sign of abundance. And I don't know whether you can see it, but right at the top of the little medicine wheel, I actually have it's called an animal fetish. It's a carving carved by a Native American, and it's when they have a piece of material or stone, and they don't know what they're going to carve out of it. But then it's like they are in tune with the stone, and they say this is what the stone wants to become. And this one wanted to become white buffalo, and it's very, very beautiful. And it's sitting there on the back on the medicine wheel. So in Native American times, white buffalo was the ultimate catch for them, because they used every single part of it. They used the skin to keep themselves warm, the meat to eat, and every part had a use. And the skin they'd use for medicine bags, and it's just every single resource. And obviously, as the white man came in and killed the buffalo, that put things seriously out of balance. But in recent times, actually, white buffaloes have been born, white calves have been born, and many Native American type people believe it's a sign of that new times are coming in, where things are abundant and are shared. And I think this fits more. It's very apt, because it fits with the paradigm of the changing world, and we it's like we've all felt the change this year. It's not something that you think, oh yes, I'm just going to buy into that as a thought, and other people not. It's like all of our lives have been impacted by change, and really the planet is changing. And we have been having to get rid of outworn patterns, negative patterns, and groups of individuals who have been working against people as a whole. But then, as that is being addressed, ultimately there is more of an idea of a collective. And I don't know if anybody's heard of NESARA GESARA. It's a concept that was written about by a think tank in the 90s, and it is said that it's going to be put in force again in the USA, and actually across about 200 countries, where they will give debt forgiveness to very poor countries who've always had that burden on their back, because often if you have poverty, you can never actually pay that debt, but maybe you actually don't. And then they're going to implement more of the idea of sharing, so that so that the wealth isn't just banked up in one area, that there is more of a level playing field with people, which I think ties in with the theme of abundance and sharing. So with obviously we think to ourselves, we have to earn money and be responsible, which we do, but if you feel wearisome, and just remember that, in a sense, abundance can be a frame of mind as well. So if you can tune into that without the fear of lack, you will attract it more to you more readily. And so it's, the Native Americans call it surrendering to spirit, but really it is great spirit, higher power, whatever you conceive that to be. It could be nature, it could be God, it could be, if whatever religious denomination you are, the head of that, it's calling into that energy. And another thing that may be helpful is if you can imagine what it actually feels like to be a buffalo, even though you're a human being. Buffaloes are really, really powerful. So just imagine what it feels like to be that buffalo with that beautiful white fur, and with the strength and the power, standing on those 4 feet, really firmly rooted onto the ground, like a tower of strength, really. And if you do that at regular intervals in little bursts, the energy of abundance will be greatly enhanced, and the abundance energy will actually come more readily to you, as well as obviously working. But it's very interesting how this energy has come as the last card, and I feel that it's very hopeful. So I just wanted to give you a Native American say twist on things. I mean, it's a very beautiful thoughts, and I think these cards speak volume, but we can apply them to our lives. It's, this is earth medicine, and the solutions are very down to earth. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this, and if you like it or would like to subscribe, please do. Take care. I'll speak to you soon.